And here we go.
Because I want a special calendar. SB 13-10470, the matter of extradition for Anthony Troy Williams, appearances, please.
Good morning, Honor. Senora Mariano, Deputy Attorney General for the State of Hawaii.
Good morning, Your Honor. Deputy Public Defender Catherine Kiddish. Your Honor, making a special appearance, and Your Honor, Mr. Anthony Williams is present.
Good morning. Are we ready to proceed?
Well, Your Honor, I do believe the state has some representations as well as myself.
Your Honor, I guess with regards to the hearing, I guess at this point the state doesn't know what the defendant is going to do at this point. So until that is said, then the state has nothing right now.
Okay.
Your Honor, I spoke to this gentleman next to me who indicated that he does want to represent himself, as I did indicate to the court earlier, and I think he wants to go on the record with respect to that.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Just, you don't need to talk to him, just talk to him, it's all being recorded.
I'm Private Attorney General Anthony Williams, as codified in Title 42, USC 1988. These charges against me are...
Oh, there we have it. I'm Private Attorney General. I've heard so much about this, but I just ran across it recently. And it is, well, it's just as deliciously awful as I anticipated.
false. My understanding, I haven't been able to see the paperwork. I really wanted to look over them to see what the state has as far as even to have a lawful warrant, Fourth Amendment warrant to get me, which they had to have probable cause, which I know they didn't, because I was here in Hawaii on the alleged crime that they're saying that I committed, which my son was also a defendant, and it was dismissed on August 22nd of last month. The defendant that they're charging, all capital letters, Anthony Troy Williams, is actually a corporate fiction, a legal person, and that's not me. I do not have a social security number. I'm actually a foreign diplomat, and I'm a U.S. non-citizen national or an American. Therefore, the court...
Wow, that's bold. He's a foreign diplomat, he says. This is all, of course, crazy. He's just launched into the substance of it. The question before us is, who's going to represent you? Stop with the defense of the case. The fact that you're giving a defense of the case in response to that question shows that you have no idea what you're doing and need someone to represent you.
Court does not have jurisdiction. The state of Georgia never had jurisdiction. Also, they haven't even proven my identity, who I am. So today I move the court to dismiss this with prejudice.
Okay. First of all, Mr. Williams, do you understand why you're here?
I don't understand why I'm here.
Okay.
What I was told is that it's an extradition hearing.
Yes.
From the state of Georgia on a false warrant that was issued. That was also issued against my son, which has been dismissed also.
Okay. There has been a complaint filed in this court indicating that you stand charged in the courts of the state of Georgia with the felony section 16-4-4 of the state of Georgia Penal Code, a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year. That's a complaint. Whether it's true or not is not really an issue here today.
County Mike Gravel brings another wild courtroom case from Chicago, this time at an old but unforgettable sovereign citizen hearing involving Anthony Williams. He claims to be something called a private attorney general.
So Georgia has demanded that this state make you available for transport back to Georgia to answer the charge. Now, you have a right to demand or procure legal counsel. You have a right to an attorney to represent you at these proceedings. Now, Ms. Gutierrez has indicated that you want to represent yourself. Is that true?
In propria persona, yes, sir.
Okay, then I need to go through a little bit of a question and answer session to make sure you understand your right, just for the record.
I guess this attorney is the standby counsel. That's all I can think of. They want to appoint her, but he won't accept it.
That you understand your right to counsel and that you are knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waiving that right. And then if you can indicate that law to represent yourself through the remainder of these proceedings.
And after those questions, can I question, I need a few questions I need to ask the court also.
Okay.
On and for the record.
Okay. Mr. Williams, how old are you?
Right now, it should be 42.
How much education do you have?
I have more education than the most trained lawyer you can find.
I'm skeptical.
So, do you have any problem reading, writing, or understanding English?
No, I do not.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs today?
No, I've never done drugs in my life.
Are you under treatment? Excuse me. Are you under treatment for any mental illness or emotional problem?
No, I'm not.
Is your mind clear?
Very clear.
Now, do you understand that you have the right to be represented by a lawyer in your case? And if you can't afford a lawyer, the court will provide an attorney to represent you for free.
I have to ask you a question on that. When you say lawyer, do you mean a counsel of my choice, or are you restricting that counsel to an attorney at law that has a certificate of admission to a monopoly called the Bar Association?
B. We're going to go with B.
You can hire anybody you want if you can afford to pay that person. If you cannot, then the court will appoint a lawyer licensed by the Hawaii Supreme Court.
So, but that person does not have to be a person that's a part of the bar that I hire.
In order to practice law in Hawaii, you have to be a member of the bar, normally. Okay? So, you can't hire a non-lawyer to represent you. You can represent yourself, but if you have someone represent you in the courtroom, then it has to be a lawyer who's passed the bar.
But
and
then
is
that would,
licensed here.
sir, that would be in violation of the Supreme Court rulings, NAACP versus Button,
No, it isn't. But okay, carry on.
Sherrill versus Board Examiner, Frankenhauer versus Rizzo, and also Aaron versus Sims, which specifically states that non-lawyers or people that are competent can represent others in court without being charged with the charge of unauthorized practice of law. Also, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 17 U.S.C. 28, I can hire someone as a next friend to represent me if I so choose without having to use an attorney at law.
Okay. But you understand what I just told you. Your objection, if that is an objection, is on the record. If you hire a lawyer, it's got to be someone who is licensed here.
As a lawyer, Anthony insists on representing himself. Then he launches into bizarre arguments about fake names, corporate fiction, and secret legal status. The courtroom quickly
Hawaii, or is otherwise authorized to practice here in Hawaii. And if you can't afford someone and you want me to appoint someone to represent you without charge, then it's going to be somebody like the public defender, Ms. Gutierrez, who is in court here. She's passed the bar and is licensed.
Can I have anyone that would be a lawyer produce a law license for me to inspect before I even consider them? Because I still have yet to see any lawyer's license that says they have a law license. I have yet to see one. I've asked plenty of attorneys and they don't have a law license. They have a certificate of admission, which is not a license. I also called the Department of Professional Licensing and Vocational Division, and they say they don't have any attorneys at law licenses in their office, that's the office for all professional licenses. So I'm still trying to figure out what license do an attorney at law has that would constitute a valid law license according to the state and federal law and according to the Constitution.
It's real easy. If you're in the role of practicing attorneys in that jurisdiction, that's it. There's quite literally a list maintained by the licensing authority, and that means you're licensed and you have to pass the bar and meet certain requirements in order to get that. All of this is complete nonsense, of course. It is kind of funny. I see this through the prism. I did a big thing on the Marrakesh Law Society. I'll put a link to that in the description below. But this precedes that, and I think that they may have drawn some inspiration from the private attorney general here.
If you want a lawyer and you can't afford to pay that lawyer, your lawyer will be Ms. Gutierrez. And the court is aware that she has passed the bar and is licensed to practice law in Hawaii. She's a public defender who has appeared before me for many years. And she will be your lawyer. You may have a position or an objection to that, and you can state it if you want to, but...
I do. I represent myself.
All right.
Well, you're doing great so far with that license argument.
Okay. This is important. Do you understand that if you represent yourself without a lawyer, the judge cannot and will not help you, and that you will be required to follow all of the technical rules and the substantive, procedural, and evidentiary law applicable to your case?
No, that's incorrect. My understanding is that the law states that non-lawyers, people who represent themselves, are not held to the same strict and stringent laws as attorney at law, and their pleadings cannot be judged as such.
This is actually interesting, and believe it or not, I think he's right. In a sense, I think both of them are right. The stated rule is if you represent yourself, you're held to the same standard. But in practice, that is not the case. Pro se litigants are given deference. There's no two ways about it. It's if you live through it, if you see it, and I've seen it, not myself because I'm an attorney, but I've seen pro se litigants get called in a case before me, so I have to watch that go out. A lot of times the judge will ask for a volunteer because the courtroom will be full of attorneys to draft an order because they don't know what they're doing. They will continuously ask for assistance or just be so far off the path that the judge can't help but put them back on the path and help them a little bit. They hate it. They're cognizant of it. They don't like doing it, but that's what happens when people represent themselves. So it's kind of interesting. The judge
tells the court he has no social security number and says he's actually a foreign diplomat. He also claims Georgia has no authority over him and demands the entire case be dismissed.
The judge was correct, and that is the stated rule, and he was advising him of that. But the practicality is exactly what this guy said. He is correct.
Okay, you and I disagree, but you understand what I've told you.
I don't understand under that, no, sir.
Okay, what is it you don't understand about me telling you that if you represent yourself without a lawyer, the judge cannot and will not help you, and that you will be required to follow all of the technical rules and the substantive, procedural, and evidentiary law applicable to your case?
Well, sir, the reason why I don't stand under that or understand that is because you are supposed to be under an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, which you're supposed to guard against anyone trying to infringe on my rights as an American citizen. So,
and also the rights of the other party. The judge is neutral. Goofball. If you're an attorney, you'd know that.
if you're not on that oath, I need you to state that for the record today if you're not on your oath. But if you are, then I do expect for you to protect and guard all my constitutional, divine, and common law rights.
I'll try my best to do that.
So are you on your oath today, sir?
I'll try my best to protect your rights.
Well, I'm saying, well, are you on your oath today? Is your oath up to date and current, your oath of office to uphold the Constitution for the United States of America?
I took an oath when I was sworn in as a judge.
I understand, Sam, but is that on file? It's on record right now?
Okay, so this is this is a perfect illustration of what we were just talking about. He is, we're not there yet, we're just talking about it, but if he's representing himself, what he just did to the judge is straight up contempt of court if an attorney tried that. An attorney knows better, and if they said something like this, they would be warned. I mean, not immediately, but if you continued down this line, you'd end up in contempt of court. The only reason why he's not there right now is because the judge is giving him deference because he's representing himself in the moment.
It got me, but I did
I'm
take
saying,
it.
sir, well, I'm saying in order to, adjudicate in front of me and to be lawful, you have to have that oath of office current, and I can, by law, I can demand that be entered in on the record to make sure that you will guard my constitutional rights as you are sworn to, or supposed to have sworn to an oath to do, sir.
Okay, I understand.
We're all sworn in when we pass the bar and get licensed. We all have a big swearing in ceremony. We raise our hand and we swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state that we are in. We have certificates of our license, and a lot of us have them hanging on our wall. I have it hanging in my office. But there's nothing beyond that. There isn't a transcript of the swearing in ceremony, or there isn't some notarized. They love a good notary. There isn't a notarized document. That's it. It's implicit in the fact that you have a license, that you were sworn in at some point, because that's something you have to do to get it.
I understand what you're saying, but
So we're in agreement. You do? Are you on your oath today?
no,
then?
I've indicated that I understand what you're saying, but whether I agree with it or not is not an issue right now, as far as I'm concerned. But your position is on the record, okay?
I'm saying I'm still not understanding, sir, but that's mandatory for you to be on your oath of office, when you sit on the bench, so to make sure that I don't get railroaded by the prosecutor, to make sure that these proceedings are fair and that they are constitutional. I mean, I just asked a simple question, sir. Are you on your oath today, and are you going to uphold your oath to the United States of America, the Constitution of the United States of America?
I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. Okay, let it rest there. The next question is, do you understand that acting as...
Explains this is only an extradition hearing, not a trial. But Anthony keeps interrupting, questioning the judge's oath, attorney licenses, and the legal system.
Your own lawyer could substantially hurt your chances of obtaining a favorable result in this case?
No, I do not understand that, because in the interest of justice, it shouldn't matter whether I have an attorney at law or not. What should matter is the truth of the facts of the case. And the truth of the facts in this case is that the state of Georgia do not have a viable description of me. I wasn't the person that they're talking about. I'm a separate entity than the entity that they've charged. And the incident that they're saying, they didn't have probable cause because I was here in the state of Hawaii in the incident that they're charging me with.
Okay, the allegations in Georgia are not for me to determine one way or the other. Issues in an extradition proceeding are limited, and guilt or innocence is not one of them.
Okay, can you state those issues for me, sir? What are the issues?
I can't help you. I can't tell you what to do.
No, I'm not.
That's why you have a lawyer. If you want a lawyer, Ms. Gutierrez is standing right next to you. If you want to represent yourself, I'm not going to help you.
No, sir,
I
I'm
can't
asking you
help
what are the issues, because you said those issues that I brought up aren't the issues. So by law, you have to tell me what the issues in the extradition that I'm being charged with, sir.
Well,
He did, and you weren't paying attention, and he doesn't need to tell you again. He might, I'm not sure.
I read the complaint to you. The state of Georgia has alleged that you committed a crime in Georgia, and they want you back there to answer that crime. That's what this extradition proceeding is all about. Now, what you and I are talking about at this moment, though, is whether or not you want a lawyer to represent you or you want to represent yourself. And I'm required to advise you that representing yourself could be detrimental.
No.
You can understand that.
No, I don't understand that, because the reason why I can understand that, sir, is because every time I've represented myself, I've always won. Every time I had an attorney at law represent me, or anybody that I know, they've always lost. So my chances are better with me representing myself, understanding my constitutional rights, common law rights, and divine rights and human rights, than to rely on an attorney at law who is an officer of the court, which you are also an officer of the court, and both of you are part of the same organization, which creates a conflict of interest. The reason why this proceedings cannot go further, because the jurisdiction has been directly challenged. The state of Georgia doesn't have any jurisdiction. The state of Hawaii don't have any jurisdiction. I've already have the paperwork filed that I'm not a U.S. citizen. I am an American national. I am a foreign diplomat with foreign sovereign immunity that's already been established on the record, sir.
Do you understand that if you disrupt the trial,
Continues. The judge warns him that self-representation can hurt his case. Anthony refuses to listen, keeps arguing, and proves exactly why sovereign citizen tactics always fail in court.